After so much news coming out in the media on reopening Fangun mine, I went back to my motherland to find out from the people who went through negative legacy. On my second day on the ground, I took a bus and went to Morgan checkpoint. I caught up with Mekamui government officer Blaise Iroino.
Tok long mining, long OP, also plenty of people, even a leader, you can tok long. Long mipla long checkpoint, na one time Mekamui government. Sana long mipla long mining, is mining, issue long mipla. Suppose pusat money like open mining. Emi mas address him. One emolo issues long olo ebi even come up long. Bogan bill past time before you meet Tintin na tok long mining. Emi pass. You know got more mining by Oplo, yeah.
Okay, all get a mining company now. Line go to by plan got work. All boys lo ya tu by got work by losing checkpoint na baling go work lo company. What now Tintin blue plan?
Olo pikini one time olo Mary na olo man Mary. Oli woklong alibi moliet one time olo alluvial gold dredging. Na suppose mining iop. O semuane molo pikinini na oro Mary by go woklong office. Londisa, mi can talk osem. Ino gate molo sabe man tasol. Olo operators tasol long olo equipment emol tasol by kisim employment. Na olo pikinini na oro Mary. I'm sorry long all. Long olo development na oro service. Mi can talk osem. Long time pangko na mining staff, even got all development. Bisa only mas sunshine because ino got development, ino got service.
Okay, suppose all company na gaman only signing anything one time from mining land on Asia. And what now? Boypla doing making.
Suppose only like open back. Now only sikirapiet. Me play looking motion. By me play go back from square one. Quite by kirap. Long passing back mining. Na enough long time only finishing Mekamui on this island, yes. Only kaya nga mamas na open pangko na mine na oro na apply mining.
So lo side lo gaman lo gotok mining taso by giving me independent when me pla fight lo. What now? Some option way apart from mining you say giving.
Me pla lo here. You got all plenty something. Example one plus something agriculture where you mean up. Kirapin bekolo economic recovery. You got coconuts, you got cacao, na you got orona plus something where me play up kirapin. Mining. Instead long and by giving me money and by bakarapi me. This is a checkpoint. And by no got way and by rouse and by stop lawyer. Why me emisanap? Long this ataso, me play kung passing panguna mine.
So, all go talk lo reopening mining. What now Tintin blue play? Pla like opening mo nung gat?
No, mining no na kama because mine kama pero kita something ba bakara pun display na all people from behind time no na looking for something was in bush now we go stop kita ba bakara pero kita.
All mining company go talk. Time mining open. Boy plan gat work. Pla lo checkpoint tu boy plan no stop lo ya. Boy plan go work lo mining. What now look lo.
Kiaman. Terus mine kama. Ni ba no nakakurong mo kain maning office man na lain sabi dong kain santi na bari ko.
Remember our future, our island future. Remember our future, our leaders. Don't sell our island.
Mi kresuma. Stand bromilon di opening pangko na mine. Emi no negotiable. Emi no time ron tok ron mine.
Bayu pulang gat work. All boys blue lo checkpoint tu bail gat work. Suppose mining open. When him now tinting you say give him lo that one.
Suppose mining company yop and by me play gat work long fight. Me play no one.
While we started the interview, his mobile rang. I told him to enter it. A Papua New Guinea government officer rang him about the same issue.
News Pro media. Tasoro di opening pangko na mine ino ka tuan para kut para tok yeti kama blogger di opening pangko na mine channel kresuma mi ko pasim 100% em pasit ni jara mane mi tokoro sen denona emi stablo mospi na emi stablo wanenga emi dana we finish nongia na mi ko tokoro sen em denona emi no ka title lawyer emi stablo mi because mi papa bro ni jara gidaina mi ko stop it por se mama toro bro ni jara pikini ni ebi bin mi storon stena soromone mi kibinom mama borong isteret. Ni jera narapara mama ya kibin tokora don soromon dong katim jera pigini namel la seri. Na ni jera deno na tu ore kon walking same passing ore kon like burukin namel ni jera airan. Emi no airan borong le mainan borong mia. Emi no island bro Papua no kini, emi no island bro Australia, island bro mi homeland ya mi bin crown dong ya.
One blatu oli go talk bay plang bay got development we bali making more kind road or something. What now tintim le?
Nesira em kiaman ya rong wasing et bro mi prana ori kong kiaman mi prana want development. Eta first place mi prana rukin development from BCL we ori bin putting in coincide dong mining company agreement. Mi prana rukin. Ori developing up taso abrongol taso dia apuri saya about. Iko anta bro South Bougainville emina brong ya po taso. Iko ro se mori developing ina bro taso on limestone. Iko ro we ro buka inokat. Nesira em kiaman. Jara development ori tok rong BCL tok rong em kiaman. Mi pra ruk sabe ro BCL pini jam kiaman man. Australia em kiaman. One time oro se Allah oro kiaman man. Working try para disaster ya human disaster.
Okay, one argument mining company now shareholders everyone who put him to time reopening Pangu na mine by economy money come up lo up na by this la independent way mi fight lo em tu by possible way by mi nap kisim. You argue that without mining what now sambla way you mi can kisim money lo em.
Side bro mi you mi stop long agriculture ya. From the beginning time white money no come dong ya mi price stop long agriculture lo ya.
Media will come up lo outside world now and semoso one bla big man lo PNG gaman is Bougainvillean and meeting you now lo go talk that by you talk about reopening mine. What now you say talking about that one?
Bicara em turu semosa em bingkam. Aus bro mi. Mem kam mitu para sinda undongnya. Mitu para ino tok rong opin pangku namai. News yu pra ko ngarin dong ap. Em kiaman. Em propaganda prong news reporter uzat man.
Polio like mining open ya. What now team blue suppose only signing any something agreement. What now by come up?
This plan now, we're talking about some. All this plan, the click line that's already working like mining by your MLS line. All con man, now all base man. Suppose all man through blow work, only operate whole yet the work from independent, only must take him kill now only must farm flowing or something. The site flow agriculture, new make at lawyer and plenty work. I mean up long, I see you wanted something, you moving fight long.
My name is Peter. I'm the chief of one of the clans in here, a tribe called a Manta clan. As a chief, I also have a responsibility in looking after my people here, especially my tribe. But also we have a responsibility also in relation to the natural environment. So in regards to this, our task and responsibility to our clan and the nature motherhead, I like to say this, that the mining is not entertaining in Bougainville. We value our land as our motherland. And talking about mining, 95% of the people don't like mining to come back. And they don't like CRA to come back. And I like to repeat this, there will be no mining in Bougainville. Whatsoever, whoever you want, you must bear that 15 to 20,000 people have lost their lives because of that mining, that Panguna mine. A lot of people are talking about economical development in Bougainville. I, for one, have experienced economic development that has been before the war. And the CRA, BCL, and the government of that day, instead of doing a development to the people, they were only developing these four corners of the town in Arawa. There was no development in the rural areas. There was no development in the villages. There was no development in the feeder roads. There was no, what we call a development has been placed in Bougainville. Mining is not the only thing that is to be developed. Apart from mining, we have fishing, we have tourism, and we have also cultural development. There's a lot of things that has to be done in Bougainville. Mining is not the answer to economic development in Bougainville. I don't think so. Without mining, we can still live. Now, there is no mining, and we can still live a good life. To Bougainvilleans, most of us, we have a job. We have our own jobs. But rural people have their own jobs. They grow cash crop, they go fishing, and they go hunting. And what they have? They have what they have in their own area. They have resources to earn their living.
People are not liking mining still.
Yeah, I'm not liking mining over there.
Mr. Jimmy Millington, what do you think about mining in Bougainville?
Well, Peter, first thing I would say that Bougainville, after the restoration program, we have seen that the amount of money that we are getting to rebuild Bougainville is not that big. That is why a lot of leaders in Bougainville are thinking about ways to make money to help Bougainville to build itself up. Now, one of the big issue now in Bougainville is the reopening of Bougainville copper mine. Now, that is general talk on the ground, and a lot of leaders are focusing on the issue of opening of the mine. But for me, personally, I would see that that would be the last resort, that is the opening of the mine, because there are also other issues that we must also solve and settle before we talk about reopening of the mine. What is paramount now is this: before anything happens, the people of Bougainville must be compensated for the loss of property, for the loss of environment through the operation of the mine. Now, at this point in time, nobody is discussing compensation. Maybe because there hasn't been anybody to map out the losses, the damages, and all the problems that has occurred on the island. But basically, we, the people of Bougainville, especially the majority, the silent majority, we would only feel good only if the company and the national government address the compensation package first, then talk about reopening of the mine. The silent majority are those people who always keep silent. In many cases, their voice has not been represented in public media or any forum. I, as a member for Central Bougainville, I go around, I listen to them, they talk about compensation. Now, compensation is very important because in our culture, in Melanesian society, wherever death occurs, wherever problems arises, compensation must be a paramount. Compensation must be a first thing to settle any problem. Now, the disaster that is caused by the Panguna mine, especially when you talk about the spillage of polluted water into Java, it caused a lot of problem in terms of environmental degradation. Now, we don't know the magnitude of the damage that has been caused in the food chain as far as environment is concerned, but what is visible now that we can see is that the physical picture of the Java River along the delta has totally changed. Now, these are some of the things giving us a clear-cut picture of what had happened. But there are also underlying issues, which is such as death that has occurred, because a lot of people in Bougainville are innocent people who have been slaughtered by the army when they came over to defend the mine on the Bougainville Island. Now, the percentage who want the compensation to be paid to the people of Bougainville, especially the silent majority, I would say 80%.
Talking about reopening of the mine, and when you talk about the impact that is done by the operations itself, you can see the vast areas of the operations that has been going on in Bougainville. What do you think if the mines return to Bougainville, especially BCR?
If the mine opens, we would also expect that there will be also extra damage done to the environment. That will be a great loss for us because the trees, the rivers, the soil that we have cannot be even replaced by 1 million or 1 trillion kina given to Bougainville. There are people who are talking about mine, but these are people who haven't invested in sectors such as agriculture and marine resource. Bougainville population is a very small population. Now, if we can tap on well into agriculture and marine resource, I don't think we would need mine. For Bougainville to move forward, the way forward is to look into alternatives rather than talk about mine, because we already see the disastrous effect of the mine on the island. Now, that is why we had fought. Now, it would be only hypocritical to go and talk about mine while we haven't sought ourselves to look into ways to support ourselves in terms of economy other than mine.
What do you think the future government should do before reopening of the mine?
Reinvest in agriculture, because 90% of the people, especially now, we are banking on agriculture. Cocoa, copra, a cash crop like coffee should be introduced very heavily in Bougainville.
Chief Damien Daming is a very powerful man, traditionally and culturally.
Open mind now. Today here all sabe money, all money, money, all business money, all talk. But you open panguna mind. Bullshit. You searching past time all this blood here. You me how much blood thousand you me watching this ground of blood. All the known as only like you open mind. That's what me no sabe. By only digging through or no God. Not suppose you all has place money all the known as only shining long open mind. Me think by something he come up. One him low this year. Long low long you me. This cups at him blood long this year. What do you clearing me? You miss a bit. You ant up long blood and I by you me starting in Narapala revolution.
Remember the woman, the mothers of the land. Remember the farmers.
My name is Kopiamo.
Da arek maki kare mo.
Limbobo nari maki ansis karomang.
Kambing o piaro main mereka.
The ma distraction na unte ke pangu na ke ngo wingo ansi. All Bougainville. This is distraction na po. Sikera kompan.
This is ya kumang. Dauru ka wakari ko di angkaru waka abu yang kare.
Yeah, distraction tutung ko mo muai. Kapo ora di all Bougainville ko ora di mo muai.
Mga development tabo wai tahun tu ngambil kapo teram betul pora.
Na te au distraction ko te development te au aro tu roban. Te mo come mo aru te na poma.
Era apa mang te independent piaro rima onde beria reko independent money atau ko tabo antau pe.
Te money au ang God bless island ni kana Bougainville. Ino mining tasol. Pore sa ngotong amping kapo tourism otong tangang creation orari ampia money kampi peu ni Bougainville island people
Nkana pangu na kumaini mbele ambaru nangoto inge ko roko ama. Nkana forest ena ngorari, nkana resources na ngorari. Nuruka pika na tabira ngana ngorari, nuruka ke wa kando ina make. Bera aunto ngau nanto nanga ora buru bika nika ninkapo forest orari bu temo wake burai na mbele uai ngam.
Apo o ambi manda madueta. Ni pia moria wana ko sai ni pumato mau. Te konto ora ka ngora mang. No ko te amimo. Nge ko ngara ma ki para